Come on. Welcome on back, folks, here this Tuesday afternoon on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, of course, our home, Cyber Trading University, the Cyber Group Trading Room. Great to see Leda and all of our students alike. Got Andrea, Ryan joining us just before, Jeff, Margaret, Joy, Sam, Adam, and all of our students just joining us there as well. So, hey, once again, the market is pushing back on up. There is a lot to talk about once again here this afternoon. Actually, XPeng EV company, Chinese-based EV company, up like 10+% right now. Really strong push. So I like this one out the gate. I'm going to put this on our watch list, just to begin. So great to have Phil and Brian and Wendy saying, there I am. Absolutely. And hey, no class today. We'll be continuing the phase 1 course tomorrow, that being, and that gives old Josh here alongside a lot of our students a lot of time to trade the close. Looking forward to it here. So yeah, XPeng, XPEV that is, will definitely add to our watch list. How's my old buddy Neo doing with that in mind, right? NIO, Lee, all these Chinese EV companies moving on up. I don't know if it's a whole market move here. The China market's really at the highs. ETF Yin, the ETF FXI, much like the SPY, all of them just right at the highs. It's incredible. So I don't want to build a big list. I really do not. That's the goal of what we're trying to do. Keep it simple. Definitely XPEV will add to our watch list. Probably slip Neo on there too. I'll put it on the side list for right now. This is more volatile in a good way, like still within our price range, good spread, and it moves well. So I like that. All right, so this moving well right now. I'll tell you what's not moving well right now. What hasn't been moving well since Traders Talk. It made a lower high and then it pulled back, stopped us out, and thankfully, with that being said, it stopped us out and made a lower low. So unfortunately, I didn't get that big pop and higher high like I wanted. It ended up getting washed out, same price, like right around 1020, 1025, and well, from there, I mean, obviously an ugly drop off. I wasn't necessarily looking for that drop off per se. But it was a nice learning lesson because it actually went to show that the 950 level ended up providing as a good base. So that was a strong support level that we had our eye on. Hint right there on Traders Talk, our weekly workshop earlier. So, hey, right now, actually, this was moving down as the markets were moving back on up. And as well, Bitcoin, right? Obviously, Bitcoin. So we saw Bitcoin make a strong move up heading into like this morning pre-market wise. And here's the big drop that we had at 11 o'clock, Traders Talk. Bam. Couldn't break higher, ended up beginning to break a local lower low. And here, just so you know, this is actually pretty interesting, like long term and across the remainder of this week and next week. I'm not going to have the chance to show this all the time, folks. So, just here we'll start with it, but probably on a weekly basis, we'll look to pop up the Bitcoin heat map here, actually, for Bitcoin in particular. And you know what? It looks like the order ended up getting pulled a little earlier into the morning, probably from like early pre-market hours. There was a large iceberg order, a little bit smaller even than this, but maybe that's the same person. But more or less, it was at like 32.1 right there. Big iceberg overnight. They were laddering it up actually in pre-market, but since I've lost actually track. I don't know if they ended up placing it at 33 and that's still there. But yeah, for right now, like the Bitcoin miners, we're not going to really follow them right now for the afternoon. Not looking as good. Certainly not as good as that XPEV. All right. Well, the SPY altogether is popping. And with that, let me just jump to that because we've had our eye on the S&P for a long time now. And with that, I was really focused just before. I got a bunch of lines here, but just before the white line right there, 422.60. That was a weekly long-term level. And yesterday, it was holding extremely well as support. So once again today, it ended up holding as support, and then it eventually broke it. Well, look at it now. It ended up flipping as resistance earlier, expected resistance at first. And just the more times it nips and gnaws in a smaller concentration, this just to mention, is a really nice area to look to buy calls just as a day trade. Obviously, you need this white line to now flip as support, no head fake, but really strong push once it broke above that 422.58 area. So hopefully a nice close ahead here for us here in the Cyber Group room. Let's see what else is out there, though, from top to bottom. Add to the XPEV on our watch list. I'll tell you right now, the Lian trade, Lian, great move from the morning, popped from like 225 up to near 350, failed to even test or break over that exact price. So it wasn't even any funny business, just held right under the level, and that was that. Lower highs, though, it seems, right? Looks like it's been consistent with lower highs. Maybe, I guess, if you call this, but I'm still talking about the more major peaks that it had across the day. it hasn't broken lower. And that's the thing that's like still tempting us at like following it, looking at it. If it ends up making like a Hail Mary pop during this meeting, then you let me know, or maybe I'll come back to it at the tail end here. I'll put it down on our side list for right now. Keep it pushing. And honestly, I wasn't really too familiar with a lot at the top of the gainers list here, meaning they're all kind of like crappy trades below $1, low volume. So I know Rich called out IBRX earlier. I didn't even really focus on it as much myself. Great call. Nice level 1 or 2 trade, pushed up really well. It's head on at resistance at 222, 225. And well, what goes up does come back down. So an ugly shake back down there. Oh, man, I got these bright ass lights in my eyes right now, trying to redo my office lighting here. So obviously, that said, bright. IMGN made a nice pop heading into the mid-afternoon, early to mid-afternoon. So with that, let me actually break open Benzinga Pro. We'll take a look to see what the news was on this IMGN, because I didn't really see anything at first. Maybe something popped up. Right, coverage from Oppenheimer. That's all I see there, at least. This is tagged with IMGN. Not like specific headline, though, that led to the big breakout. So maybe Benzinga slacking a little bit. With that said, nice pop, though, 1250 up to 14 and change. And although it made a lower high, it's still holding pretty close to those highs of the day, a lot closer to the highs than it is from where it started. So, yeah, IMGN, I don't mind putting on our list here. Looks good. Looks interesting. What else do we got? Oh, that's right. We got the education companies, Chinese education companies. We'll see if they're moving well. That pop across the whole China markets like Yin and FXI ETFs. So this Tao trade is up 6%, but it's not really like the best looker. It's kind of inching up the last few bars, but again, I'll do like a last call and come back to it if I need to. GOTU, it's up 12 to 13%. This actually just broke a new high before, but kind of same deal there. And not going to really put every stock that looks like this on our list. We'll have a 50 stock watch list. So HUYA, same deal. This also is another Chinese company. Nikola, not really doing much right there. All right, so hey, we only got 2 stocks that made the main cut so far, or made the main watch list so far: the XPEV and the IMGN. So for all of our students like Brian, Wendy, John, Don, Lorene, and anyone else, just let me know here inside the Cyber Group room if there's anything else I missed going up. What the heck happened here? This thing's down 75%. Has to be like a glitch or some sort of like, I don't know what the heck this even is. Just, I don't know. Maybe it's a new IPO. Is that it? Yeah. So AIR, it's too expensive. But when you see like down 75%, it's $100 stock. What the hell happened there? Obviously, it's just a really low volume, barely anyone trading it. Probably some uneducated people trading it because that's not really a good stock to follow. So, all right. True. TRU, nice gap down. It ended up beginning to drop off after the open, broke below 50, and a little bounce here. We had a nice trade in the afternoon yesterday on the RVMD. Nice little dead cat bounce, and actually didn't realize it. Stock's actually up 13%. Still trying to push. Look at that. Stock was down like 38% plus yesterday, if not a lot more. And then heading into the afternoon, ended up making higher lows to make the breakout higher. So, who knows? Maybe that could happen on True. It started to squeeze up a little bit there. Just, it's not really trading good volume on the book. So, not like a necessity to add that. All right. AAN. Again, just not really trading a whole lot of volume per minute. The shoes got to fit perfectly here, folks, especially for this afternoon. We have Google reporting after the close today, Microsoft reporting after the close today. Oh man, we'll pop it open our earnings calendar before we wrap up, at least here, posted right on our Twitter feed. We'll get that open right now as I'm talking, but definitely a boatload of different earnings out after the bell today. And we'll get to that, like I said, just as we finish up. So, hey, last call. Let me know if there's anything else looking good on the way up, on the way down. Xerox, geez, $12 stock. It used to be a huge company back in the day. Damn, what the hell happened to them? In 2005, they were like a $47 stock. They crashed during the 08 recession, and actually getting pretty close to those lows right now. That's wild. It's crazy seeing such a household name for decades really like fall off like that. All right. So again, like I said, there's not much else from the lists that I see here myself. I got my earnings calendar right here handy for me. So I'll pop this open. There we go. So we got our earnings calendar here after the close today. Microsoft, Google, Snapchat, Visa, which we're probably not going to trade that, but either way, those are the main ones we'll follow. Then tomorrow morning, mind you, got Boeing, which is actually pretty important, big volume airplane company, a little more expensive, but obviously, one that we'll look to follow heading into tomorrow morning. And then I'd honestly say everything else here kind of sucks. Nothing really here trades too well off earnings. Just take my word for that, please. After the close Wednesday, though, we will have Meta, Facebook, obviously that being. QuantumScape. Ooh, there we go. Where's Michael D? Michael Dorsey in our room loves QuantumScape. That is one that we will likely be following as well. Likely, at least. So that's for after the bell today and tomorrow. But again, let me know if there's anything else looking good, just universally, all together, folks. Just going into the close here. Last call. Go through our nice side list, at least, a nice lengthy side list. We got 2 stocks still that made the main list. It's tough. Cart, Sava, a couple trades there that I could poke at. IO&Q, yeah. IO&Q took a hit in the after hours, didn't it? Some news came out overnight. I was talking to a trader on Twitter. I was going to say a trader on Twitter last night, and they had told me the news. It was about their co-founder leaving the company. Co-founder left the company there. A big drop from 13 down to 1050. Gapped up a little bit this morning, but then pulled back at the open a little after. Not really doing a whole lot here, though. It's one that maybe you can keep on your side list for tomorrow, but pass. A lot of these we're going to pass on right now. Pretty much everything else here that I'm seeing. It says AMD trending up, which I'm a fan of. I love when one of my best stocks, AMD, is pushing upward, Dan. Side list play, right? I mean, there's a lot that looks like this or even better that's actually at the highs. So, if you do well on AMD day to day on the regular, basically, and you make consistent pays on it, then I would definitely focus on it. Absolutely. Honestly, I mean that because, hey, so far we only have 2 that I thought was good enough to make the main list. At this point, I may as well add NEO because it goes with XPEV. The Lian trade, we're not going to add to our main list. It still looks like a lower high setting up for a huge drop. Looks like this thing's about to fall off a cliff the way it looks. Now, if it pops after I finish up this meeting, then obviously we'll look to focus on it, but that's only if it could break over. We'll say like 330. But then even at that, 350 is still your main resistance. Like all day, this thing was resistance. So I'm not adding it yet, but just later on at 315, 330, if there's nothing else out there and this starts to inch up a little bit, then maybe you can think about it. All right. When Benzinga's giving me stocks like this, that's my cue. So, folks, hey, for all of us on social media, just be a friend, tell a friend, make sure that you're liked and subscribed and followed, might I say, to all of our social media streams, if you can, at Cyber Trading U on Twitter and YouTube, namely Cyber Trading University. Look us up on Facebook with that as well. Do live audio broadcasts throughout the market open, first hour of the day, myself and Fausto. If you wanted to get the full rendition, though, all the education involved, just make sure that you scan that QR code on the top left with your camera, with your phone. If you're not as fancy, not as with the times, just go right down to the link on the green banner below, just on the stream at the bottom there. Get you access to a week-long trial inside our live trading room with all of our students and instructors alike. But for them right there, Danny, John, Wendy, Brian, and Leda, and all of them right now, Andrea, Sam, Don, Laureen, and everyone just there. Hey, I'll be in the chat board up until 3:30. So if you see something, say something. Short list, might I say. Let's start with what we got, right? There's a reason why we have these on there. And, at 3 o'clock, 3:15, then we'll see what else is out there, kind of scan the side of the stocks out there. All right, folks, let's try and make some money. Take care.